Stop. Don't scroll. You feel it, don't you? That sense that you were made for more, that there's a destiny with your name on it, but the name itself is written in invisible ink. Heaven has been preparing a word for you, and today that word becomes a name, and that name becomes your new reality. You felt it in your body. A physical heaviness, a chronic fatigue that isn't from labor, but from the spiritual weight of carrying a royal destiny in a commoner's uniform. It is the ache of a king who has been living as a peasant, and your very bones feel the dissonance. You've seen it in your decisions, a paralyzing indecisiveness at every major crossroad. You're frozen not because you lack wisdom, but because you lack identity. You cannot answer the question, "What should I do?" Because you have never been told, "This is who you are." And you have felt it in the most painful place of all, in your own home, a painful isolation even when you are surrounded by your loved ones. You feel a chasm between you and them because you cannot articulate the weight you carry. They see preoccupation or distance. You feel the silent scream of an unfulfilled, unspoken identity. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you three things. First, I will hold a mirror to the specific spiritual exhaustion that comes from carrying a divine purpose without a divine identity, and you will see yourself with a clarity that is both unsettling and relieving. Second, I am going to deliver something into your hands right here, right now. God is going to pronounce three names over you. The first is a name of permanence, the second a name of authority, and the last of them, the secret name. We'll finally explain why the battle has been so intense. Third, we will seal your new identity. Before you leave this screen, you will be commissioned under your true name, turning what was once a source of confusion into your greatest source of power. If you leave before the end, you leave without the seal, and the name remains just an echo. And there's a fourth thing I'll be placing in your hands before this message ends. Something Solomon himself recorded for the child of God who must walk through the valley of anonymity, and that fits into the rhythm of your ordinary day. This is not a book to be studied. It is an instrument to bear the weight of a royal identity, to withstand the vulnerability that comes with an unrevealed name. I'll come back to it. For now, stay. Every word God speaks is a seed, and the word He has for you today has been waiting for its season. It has survived the winter of your doubt, the cold ground of your past failures, and it is ready to break through the soil of this present moment. But before I give you that word, you have to understand something. And on that very subject, on the sealed ancient scroll on the king's signet ring, on the master key for a door you haven't yet found, there is something that Solomon recorded, a 2-minute key that fits into your ordinary day and that I will show you later on. Tuck it away in the back of your mind. And if you need to leave before the end of this video, that instrument is already waiting for you in the first pinned comment right below. But I urge you to stay until the end, because without the context that is coming now, the key will not have the same power in your hand. Have you ever felt that this feeling of being an imposter in your own life isn't just human, but spiritual? What if this pattern of feeling misunderstood and unseen is a sign that there is a battle against the purpose God placed on your life? While many try to explain this as burnout or a lack of confidence, few realize that the accuser doesn't attack you for what you have or what you've done, but for the identity God is building over you. But what if the real reason for this nameless ache is precisely what you haven't yet been able to see about your own divine calling? Now think with me. What if everything you have walked through until today, the sealed scroll, the unfitting ring, the locked door, is the answer to that question you have carried for years? God, who did you create me to be? It was searching for an answer to this that I found this digital guide called The Code of Solomon's Wisdom. This guide is not just a reading, it is a key of spiritual understanding, a tool made for those who wish to see beyond appearances, to stop treating a royal burden like common anxiety, and to comprehend why the accuser attacks with such force against those who carry a mark of God. Many chosen ones here on the channel have felt the call of this instrument that helps decipher the unrevealed name, but have not yet made the decision to download the digital guide. Download it right now. It's available in the first pinned comment. If you are one of the first to download it, come back here and write Amen. This will be your act of faith, and today, God may show you the very reason why the damage of a counterfeit identity has been raised against your life. Before I give you the names that God has for you, I need you to recognize 5 things that are happening to you right now. These aren't predictions, they are signs of recognition. If I am right about at least 3 of them, then both you and I will know why you stopped scrolling on this video today. The first is the sign of the echoing call. You're in a public place, a supermarket, a crowded street, and you distinctly hear your name called. You turn, expecting to see a friend, but no one is there. This has happened more than once. What you dismiss as your mind playing tricks is heaven trying to get your attention, using the name the world knows to point to a name it does not. The second is the sign of the unfitting garment. You feel a constant low-grade discomfort in your own life. It's not misery, it's not depression, it's a spiritual chafing. Your successes feel hollow, your roles feel like costumes you put on in the morning and take off at night. It feels like you are wearing clothes that are either 2 sizes too small or that belong to someone else entirely. You are living in a life that was tailored for a person you are not. The third is the sign of the unspoken question, and this one is the deepest cut. You are sitting at the dinner table with your family. They are talking, laughing, passing the food. You are physically present, but your soul has drifted miles away. You find yourself staring at your own distorted reflection in a spoon or in a glass of water, and you are wondering, who am I, really? In that moment, your spouse or your child touches your arm and asks, "Are you okay? You seem so far away." And you have no words to explain the distance, because the person they are talking to is not the real you. And concerning that dinner table scene you just recognized, that moment staring into your reflection, I have already left the instrument waiting for you in the first pinned comment. If you have to leave before the end, it is there. But stay, because the Hebrew name for what is happening to you has not yet been spoken. And before I move on to the 4th and 5th sign, a brief pause. And beyond our digital book, Chosen One, you have here another way to strengthen this message that reached your home today, and to make it reach more and more chosen ones like you. We don't receive a single cent for every word I deliver to you here on this channel every day. As a way for you to give back something of what you receive here, we keep a voluntary donation link open, right below the digital book, in the first pinned comment. Any amount that fits your hand today, any sum your heart points to. That's what keeps our channel standing. That's what makes the next message reach another person who needs it, exactly as you needed it. I'll wait for you there, chosen one. Returning now to the 4th sign. The 4th is the sign of the interrupted introduction. Pay attention to this in the coming days. You will find that people frequently mispronounce your name, forget it moments after you've said it, or introduce you with the wrong title or role. This is not a coincidence. It is a physical manifestation of the spiritual battle being waged to keep you anonymous, to keep your true identity under wraps. The enemy wants you to remain a John Doe in the kingdom of God. And the 5th is the sign of ancient longing. You have found yourself lately with a sudden and inexplicable fascination with the origins of names, with genealogies, with family crests or stories of ancient inheritances. You are drawn to stories of identity and legacy, not out of mere curiosity, but because your spirit knows it is time to discover its own. Your soul is searching for its birth certificate. These 5 signs are not symptoms of a breakdown. They are the contractions of a breakthrough. They are not a sign that you are losing your mind, but a sign that you are about to find your true identity. And the name of what is awakening in you is held in a single Hebrew word that God has reserved for you today. Before I show you the instrument that Solomon left for the ordinary day, I must give you the Hebrew name for what you carry, because the instrument only makes sense after you know the name. There is a word in Hebrew that defines the exact state in which you live, a word that recontextualizes everything I have just described to you. There is a word in the original Hebrew that changes everything you thought you knew, and what comes now will explain why everything happened in this exact order. And to carry that name alone, to bear the weight of what you are discovering without the instrument that was prepared for it, is not what Solomon intended for you. He did not prepare a theory, he prepared an instrument, and I am going to hand it to you now. The Code of Solomon's Wisdom. is the instrument that Solomon left for the child of God who must walk through the ordinary day without losing what was received in the secret place. It is for when you keep answering to a name the world gave you, wondering why God's promises don't seem to fit the life you're living. When that happens, you need the instrument of the unrevealed name. It is for when you come home from work, drop the mask of your profession at the door, and realize with a cold dread that there is no face underneath to put on. When that happens, you need the instrument of the unrevealed name. It is for when you say yes to every request, every demand on your time, because you don't possess the authority of a specific identity to know what you must say no to. When that happens, you need the instrument of the unrevealed name. And if you're feeling right now that this is exactly what you need, before I even continue, place your thumb now over the link in the first pinned comment. Don't click yet, just place your thumb. Feel the weight of the decision before you make the decision. This is not a method to do more. It is an instrument to sustain more. It does not train you, it covers you. It shows you where the unrevealed name is being targeted before that attack turns into a wrong decision that costs you months or years. It interrupts the enemy's cycle of keeping you generic before it becomes your next Monday morning. And the next Monday morning always arrives sooner than you think, and it comes with 2 seals for your home, not for your performance. The first seal is the ritual of the righteous sleep, so it's an audio. You don't read it, you lie down. And what you used to call insomnia, today you'll call unsealed vigil. And you'll learn to seal the night with the right name, in the right order, in the right voice. Sadaki second seal is ice, the awakening of clarity, the 7 morning decrees. 7 short phrases, 1 for each morning of the week, so you don't wake up again without identity. So you cross the first hour of the day with the posture of one who has been sent, and not with the posture of one who has been run over. And the hesitation you might be feeling right now, that is not your doubt speaking. It is the very mechanism of the unrevealed name acting inside of you in this moment, pushing you to close this window, to put this off, to get distracted. You recognize this pattern. The moment you decide to pray is the moment sleepiness arrives. The moment you open the word is the moment the phone rings with an urgent but unimportant demand. This hesitation is the final confirmation that you are at the precise point where the turn happens. And because of that, you have 7 full days to use the guide and feel its effect. 7 days. If in 7 days this instrument has not touched what needs to be touched in you, you can get a full refund with a single click. No questions asked. And the 2 seals, the ritual of the righteous sleep and the 7 morning decrees, remain yours forever, even if you ask for a refund. They are my gift to you. But I have to be direct with you. The real risk is not spending less than a Thursday lunch at the deli. The real risk is the next Monday morning arriving and finding you in the same place, with the same weight, with the same empty hands. That is the risk that has a face. And it is about this face that I need to speak to you now. And maybe you're asking yourself some questions right now, questions that deserve an answer before we go on. What if knowing this name isn't for your glory but for His? What if your authority to break generational curses for your family is tied not to your desire, but to this specific God-given name? What if your family's spiritual peace doesn't depend on your happiness but on your identity? What if you finally operating as your true self is the one thing that will make your house a true home, a sanctuary of peace instead of a place of silent tension? What if this secret name is the one thing the enemy has no counterfeit for, the one true thing he cannot mimic, and that is precisely why he has fought so relentlessly to keep it hidden from you? The guide is sufficient on its own, but the complete household requires all 3. A woman of 38, a freelance professional, started using the guide after months of waking up with a heavy feeling, staring at the ceiling, thinking it was just the weight of a sealed, ancient scroll she couldn't open. In the first week of using the decrees, she woke up, and for the first time, the weight felt like a mantle, not a burden. She wrote me just one sentence. I thought it was anxiety. It was actually authority. A 56-year-old executive, facing a company-defining decision she'd postponed for 6 months, felt like she was standing before a locked door without a key. After applying the guide for 7 days, she walked into the boardroom, made the decision from a place of quiet knowing, not frantic calculation. Her message was brief. I wasn't lacking information, I was lacking identity. A grandmother of 61, whose home felt full of unspoken questions during weekend visits, watched her grandchildren play while she stared at her distorted reflection in a glass. After 2 weeks with the guide, she sat with her eldest grandchild, not to give advice, but to ask a real question. She wrote to me, "I was trying to give them a legacy, but I hadn't yet claimed my own name. And perhaps in 3 hours you will be lying in bed, feeling the weight of that same heavy mantle on your chest, remembering that you saw this video, you felt its truth, and you still did not reach out your hand. Perhaps on the next Monday morning the familiar wave of anxiety will hit, and you will think to yourself, 'I knew what that was. I just didn't have the instrument in my hand to face it.' Or you see yourself 30 years from now. You are holding your grandchild on your lap. The child looks up at you with wide, innocent eyes and asks, 'Grandma, your grandpa, when you were my age, what was the name God called you?' And in that moment a memory flickers. This video, a feeling of warmth, a promise, but the name itself is gone, a wisp of smoke. You just smile sadly and say, 'I can't quite remember, sweetheart.' The camera pulls back as the child runs off to play, leaving you alone with the ghost of a missed appointment. And so you continue, unconsciously building a life that is too small for the destiny attached to your true name, laying bricks for a cottage when God gave you the blueprints for a castle. The link is in the first pinned comment. It is pinned there for you, not for everyone, for you. Whoever needs to walk through the next Monday morning with the right instrument in their hand clicks that link now. And when you do, you are not buying a book. You are accepting an instrument that Solomon prepared for your ordinary day. And what you are about to understand, when you hear the Hebrew word that is coming next, will change how you see everything that has happened to you until this very moment. And before I deliver the next word that's still coming now, because it's still coming and it weighs, I want to remind you of one thing, chosen one. As I told you earlier, beyond the digital book that's in the first pinned comment, there's that voluntary donation link open, right below the book. We continue receiving not a single cent for every word I deliver here for you every day. That's why this link exists, chosen one, so that another person tomorrow finds exactly this word that found you today. Any amount your heart points to. Each gesture like that keeps our channel standing and makes the next message reach whoever needs it, exactly as it reached you today. And one more thing before we return to the message, I want you to know the following. From time to time here on our channel, I record a special honor video. Our thank you video with a special word only to recognize the chosen ones who donated the most, and those who acquired the digital book. All who sustained this word with me deserve that mention of gratitude for such a generous act. You sow here, heaven remembers you up there, and I remember you down here. I'll wait for you there at the link, again, chosen one. And now, finally, the Hebrew word that will change everything. The Hebrew word that defines exactly what is happening to you is shaliach. Say it with me in a low voice, shaliach. It means literally a sent one, an emissary with delegated authority. It is not just a word, it is a state of being. It describes the one who is not acting on their own initiative, but has been commissioned from a higher throne. When you hear this word, shaliach, you recognize it because it was already happening inside of you. You just didn't have the name for it. And about this word it is written in Psalm 4 verse 8, "I will both lay me down in peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety." This is not a promise for the future. It is a declaration of present reality. The only one who can truly say this, whose soul can rest in peace, is the one who knows they are a shaliach, not the one who is trying to be sent, the one who is sent. To understand this, look at Jacob, not the patriarch, but the man before he had his name. He was defined by his old name, Yaakov, the supplanter, the trickster. He had the blessing, he had the wealth, but he was a fugitive from his own identity, running from a past that was about to meet him on the road. His problem was not a lack of resources, but a lack of a true name. He was living under the identity of his greatest mistake. This is the unrevealed name. He was a prince living like a thief and the conflict was tearing him apart. So he wrestled, all night. And notice his demand. He did not ask for more camels, for protection from his brother, or for a safe journey. He clung to the divine and made a single demand. I will not let you go unless you bless me. He was asking for a new name, an identity that could overwrite the old one. The struggle was concrete. It cost him something. He walked away with a limp. But it was in that moment of desperation, after he confessed his old broken name, "My name is Jacob," that he was given the new one. Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, for you have struggled with God and with men, and have overcome. The cycle broke. The old name died and the new one was enthroned. The Shaliach was commissioned. He could now face his past not as a fugitive, but as a prince with God. He received his true name through desperation, and what Jacob had to wrestle for all night in the dark, you are being offered by revelation. Because of his struggle, the principle was recorded. Solomon, the great cataloger of divine architecture, left an instrument so you would not have to fight in desperation, but could receive in revelation. That instrument he recorded is what awaits you in the first pinned comment. Think of it like this. A master swordsmith is commissioned by a king to forge the royal sword for his coronation. The king provides the finest steel, the calling. But he tells the smith, "The royal seal, my true name, will only be revealed on the day of the ceremony." The smith, being a master, wants to be prepared. He forges a magnificent sword, perfectly balanced, flawlessly sharp, a work of art. It is a generic masterpiece. On coronation day, the king arrives and reveals his seal, a complex, unique family crest. The smith looks at the sword's hilt, already finished, polished, and hardened. It cannot receive the deep, defining imprint of the king's name. The king looks not with anger, but with sorrow, and says, "You built from your own great skill, not from my name. This blade will serve a general, but it cannot guard the throne. You have been operating with a blade of your own great skill. It is magnificent, but it cannot bear the seal of the king. It cannot guard the throne of your life." Do you remember the seed I spoke of at the beginning of this message? The one that felt dead in the winter. This word you have just received, Shaliach, is the name of that winter. It is the season of being set apart under the soil, and the instrument Solomon left is the means by which you survive that winter, so that when the spring comes, the seed is not only alive, it is whole. And now that you have the name for the state you are in, I need to deliver 3 things to you. First, a simple summary of what has happened here. Second, the specific type of your calling. And third, the 3 names that will carry you through the rest of this year. Let's begin. Let me stop for a full minute and put everything you just heard in simple words. No poetry, no metaphor, just the facts. Fact 1. There is an adversary whose primary strategy is not to make you sin, but to make you generic. His entire goal is to suppress the unrevealed name God has for you. Fact 2. He accomplishes this by attacking your sense of being a shaliach, an emissary, convincing you that you are a soldier without papers, a messenger without a message. Fact 3. Jacob, our patriarch, was nearly consumed by this very conflict. He had the blessing but lived under the name of his mistake. This is a real recorded battle, not a theory. Fact 4. Your caution, like that of the master swordsmith, your desire to be prepared with a generic life, might be the very thing that prevents your life from receiving the king's unique seal, leading to the silent damage of building a cottage on land destined for a castle. Now, with that said, let's move on to the type of your calling. There are 3 primary types of calling being targeted right now by this spirit of anonymity. Each one receives a specific kind of spiritual resistance. You are one of these 3, and when I name yours, you will feel it, not in your mind, in your spirit. First, there is the keeper of the silent promise. Years, maybe even decades ago, you received a prophetic word. It has been your secret treasure and your secret burden ever since. You've built your life around the echo of that promise, but the silence from heaven has been deafening. The enemy's attack on you is not to make you doubt the promise, but to make you believe you misheard the name of the recipient. that it was a promise for someone else, and you are just the lonely caretaker of a treasure that is not yours. Second, there is the restorer of a broken lineage. You were born into a family with a history of brokenness, addiction, poverty, divorce, failure. You feel a pull in the opposite direction of your family's current. You are the one chosen to break the cycle and establish a new name, a new legacy. The attack on you is to make you believe that your DNA is your destiny, that the family name you were born with is the only one you will ever have, and that your attempts to build something new are acts of rebellion, not restoration. Third, there is the architect of a new foundation. Your calling makes no sense to the people around you. You feel called to build something that has no precedent, a ministry, a business, a movement, a new way of living that has never been seen before in your world. The attack on you is to surround you with voices of reason that tell you to build with the old blueprints, to use the old maps, because the adversary knows that a shaliach with a new blueprint is the most dangerous thing on earth. You need a new name because you are called to be a new thing. You are feeling the intensity of what is happening right now, that tightness in your chest when I described the keeper, that spark of recognition when I spoke of the architect. This is not a sign that something is wrong with you. This is a sign of your capacity to be transformed. The intensity of the spiritual friction is proportional to the power of the turn that is available to you. A weak feeling means a weak turning point. A strong feeling, a powerful one. And upon your specific type, heaven has already sealed 3 names, 3 operational identities that will carry you through the rest of this year, giving your soul a form to hold on to when the chaos tries to dissolve you. The first name is Bearer of the Unspoken Covenant. This is who you are when you stand in the gap between the promise and the fulfillment. You are not just waiting, you're actively holding a spiritual position. You are the living proof that God does not forget, even when He is silent. The instrument that Solomon left is for this exact moment, to give your hands something to hold on to, while you bear the weight of a covenant that is felt but not yet seen. The second name is Foundation Stone of the New House. While the restorer of a broken lineage sees the generational failure, you, the foundation stone, are the first piece of the new structure. You are the one who is being laid in a new place, in a new way, upon which everything else will be built. Your stability is not for you alone. It is the ground upon which future generations will stand. You are the one who says, "The old house ends here. The new one begins with me." The third name is Emissary of the Unseen Blueprint. This is the name for the architect who has been given a vision without a context. You are the shaliach carrying the king's plans into a territory that has never heard his name. Your work is not to convince, but to build. The blueprint you carry in your spirit is the only permission you need. You are not lost, you are on a classified mission, and the instrument Solomon prepared is your set of credentials. The vulnerability of the first name, the bearer of the unspoken covenant, is the lie that because the covenant is unspoken, it has been forgotten by God. It's the whisper that your faithfulness in the silence is foolishness. And the instrument that Solomon left for you, the Code of Solomon's Wisdom, is designed to cover this exact vulnerability. It's not a book to be studied, it's a protocol to be enacted. Its first seal for the night, and its second for the morning, are designed to give your spirit a language when your mind has only questions. They are the rituals that hold the bearer while they bear the weight. The link is waiting in the first pinned comment. You know if this is for you. It's for the one who recognizes the ache of bearing an unspoken covenant and has decided they will not bear it alone for one more night. And there are still more things to be said, 3 more things that must be named before I send you on your way. If one of these 3 names hit you harder than the others, write the number below. 1, 2, or 3. Your testimony will give another the courage to recognize their own. But before I send you, there are 3 specific tactics that the adversary will now use against the 3 names I have just delivered to you. Knowing them is half the battle. Knowing the weapons against them is the other half. The first tactic is comparison against the timeline of others. The moment you accept your name as a bearer, a foundation stone, or an emissary, The enemy will parade before you the seemingly faster progress of others. He will show you people who started after you and are seemingly ahead of you. He will whisper, "See? Their covenant was spoken aloud. Their foundation was laid on easier ground. Their blueprint came with an instruction manual. You are behind." The second tactic is the misinterpretation of silence as rejection. Between the moment you say yes to your true name and the moment of its public manifestation, there will be a period of silence. The adversary will take this sacred silence, this period of gestation, and he will frame it as divine disapproval. He will say, "If God was truly with you, you would have seen a sign by now. This quiet is not preparation, it is abandonment." The third tactic is the most cruel. It is the inducement of despair 24 hours before the breakthrough. The enemy has a vantage point you do not. He can often sense the dawn before you can. When he knows your breakthrough is imminent, a day away, an hour away, he will throw everything he has at you. The sudden financial crisis, the unexpected argument, the wave of physical exhaustion. It is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that he has failed. And against these three tactics, God has given you three weapons. The first weapon against the tactic of comparison is the Tamais decree of the singular path. This is the spiritual act of declaring that your timeline is a sealed document between you and God, and it is not open for public comparison. You declare this in a low voice: "My path is not their path. My clock is not their clock. My name has its own appointed season, and I will not dishonor it by rushing it to another's pace." The second weapon against the misinterpretation of silence is the memory of the altar. This is your power to return in your spirit to this very moment, to the second you recognized your name, and to declare that moment as the binding verdict. The silence that follows a verdict is not the judge reconsidering. It is the court recording the decision. You declare, "The verdict was given, the name was spoken." This silence is not absence, it is the sound of my future being written. The third weapon against the despair before the dawn is the puissance of the 11th hour. This is the conscious decision to root your feet in the final hour of your trial, knowing that the greatest pressure comes just before the greatest release. You do not brace for impact, you stand in anticipation. You declare, "This pressure is the proof. This attack is my 24-hour notice. I will not move because my relief is already on its way." And these three weapons, alone, are a memory. With the instrument, they become your active covering. Recognizing the cycle of the unrevealed name, without having the instrument that Solomon left, is to receive the diagnosis without the treatment. It is to wake up to the problem without the remedy on your nightstand. And there is more. There are 7 seals on your true name that I cannot break open in a video like this. Each seal corresponds to a sphere of authority, and while I cannot break them here, the accuser knows each one by heart and has placed a counterfeit for each. The guide gives you the keys to your own seals. You need this instrument for when you get the promotion you prayed for, and the first voice you hear in your head says, "You are an imposter." You need it for when your child comes to you with a broken heart, and you need to pray with the authority of your lineage, not just the love of a parent. You need it for when you stand before a major life decision, a move, a career change, a relationship, and you have to know if it aligns with your divine assignment, not just your earthly ambition. The recognition without the instrument leaves you where you have always been, knowing the name but with empty hands. And that is why there is one final obstacle that must be named before you can truly say Amen. It is the most subtle, the most spiritual sounding of them all. It is the fear of appearing ungrateful. It is the voice that whispers, "Look at all God has already done for you. By reaching for this new thing, this new name, this new instrument, aren't you telling him it wasn't enough? Shouldn't you just be content?" It is a lie coated in piety. It uses your own gratitude as a weapon against your future. But before I release you, there is one last point. So I want you to close your eyes, right where you are. Close your eyes and place your right hand on your chest. Feel the weight of your own hand. Feel the beating of your own heart. And pray this with me, in a low voice, just for you and God to hear. Father, I come to you now, not with strength, but with honesty. And I hand over to you the exhaustion that has accumulated in these last few months, the weariness that has settled in my body, not from work, but from carrying a name that was not mine. I confess the fatigue of living as a generic soldier, and I lay down the weight of it at your feet. I release it now, and I declare that I will not go back. I will not retreat. I will not give up 24 hours before the turning point. I refuse to look at the timeline of others and feel that I am behind. I release the need to compare my secret season to their public one. My path is my path, and I commit to staying on it, right here, right now, until the end. And I release you now from the fear of appearing ungrateful. This is the most subtle chain, the fear that by urgently receiving this new name, this new instrument, you are telling God that everything He has already done was not enough. It is a lie from the pit of hell. Your immediate readiness to receive is the highest form of gratitude. It is saying, Father, I so value what comes from your hand that I refuse to let it wait in the anteroom of my heart. Declare this in a low voice now. My readiness is my worship. And I receive now the 3 names that have been sealed over me. I receive bearer of the unspoken covenant. I receive foundation stone of the new house. I receive emissary of the unseen blueprint. Not for me to boast, but for me to remember, so that I may cross what is to come with them in my mouth, in my posture, in my chest. I receive them now. And before the voice that comes now, I need you to hear one thing. The intensity of what you have passed through in recent months is not proof that something is wrong with you. It is proof that you are exactly who you always knew you were, someone carrying something big enough for the enemy to want to silence. You were not attacked by chance. You were attacked precisely where your identity intends to manifest with the greatest force. The heavier the attack, the more dangerous you are to the enemy's kingdom. The pressure you felt was not a sign of your weakness. It was a sign of your proximity to the turning. If this hits you now, right below, I receive the turning. And now, listen. I saw you at the dinner table, staring into that glass, a universe of unspoken questions in your eyes. I was on the other side of that reflection. I saw you in the quiet of the night when the weight of the day settled on your chest, and you thought it was anxiety. It was the weight of your calling, and I was measuring you for your mantle. I saw you in the moment of indecision, at the crossroads, when you were frozen by the fear of choosing the wrong path. I was the stillness, waiting for you to ask not what to do, but who am I? I have never lost sight of you. I have never closed the seat at my table that bears your name. The silence was not my absence, but the sound of the loom as I wove the tapestry of your true identity. I have held my breath, waiting for this moment when you would finally be ready to receive what has always been yours. What you called loneliness, I called consecration. What you called confusion, I called the unsealing of an ancient map. What you called failure was the shedding of an old skin, a preparation for the name I'm about to pronounce over your life, a name that will reorder everything. Your name is engraved on the palms of my hands. The appointment has been kept. The throne has never been in jeopardy. The chair at my table has always been yours. The inheritance was never withheld. It was only waiting for the heir to recognize their own face. And there is a voice that is speaking now inside of you, a voice that says, "This is not for me. This is for someone with greater faith." Kausan, I need you to hear this from me now. You have permission. You have permission to receive what you have not earned. You have permission to occupy the chair at the table without having to justify your presence. You have permission to let the version of you that needed to suffer to feel worthy die. Solomon did not prepare this instrument for those who are already ready. He prepared it for those who are tired, and the one who is tired is you now. I now extend my hand toward your home and decree a covering of sealing over all that belongs to you, over your table, so that every meal may be an act of communion and not of anxiety, and that the conversations that take place there may be seasoned with wisdom from above. I declare a covering over your children and your spouse if you have them. May your obedience tonight become a mantle of protection over them. May they feel the atmosphere of your home change, the weight lift, the lightness of God's presence enter. And I decree a covering over your work, over your hands, over every project and opportunity. May the revelation of your name as a shaliach unlock a new level of authority and favor in your professional life. May your immediate obedience become your greatest qualification in the eyes of men and in the eyes of God. You are committed. You are commissioned. You are sent. You are committed. You are commissioned. You are sent. You are committed. You are commissioned. You are sent. Before I release you, I want you to walk with me to a room you have not yet seen with your physical eyes. Don't force it. Just let the image arrive. There is a long table. Light comes from a source you cannot identify. There are people at the table. Some you have loved, some you have not yet met. The faces feel like family. And there is a chair near the head of the table, empty. The shape of you is carved into it. The wood remembers you. Solomon is at the head of the table. You are not creating this scene. You are remembering it. The chair has always been yours. It was only waiting for you. Don't say amen yet. Sit in this for a moment. Feel the weight of what just happened. The air in the room you are in has changed. The authority that was conferred is real. Let it settle. Now you may say amen. That table that the Father has just returned to you, it is still exposed. I want you to hear something before you close this video, because there's a phrase the adversary will whisper in your ear in the next 3 hours. But before the phrase, there is something you need to receive. What has been sealed here now will be tested in the very next moment of quiet, in the final moments of consciousness before you sleep tonight. The Code of Solomon's Wisdom is waiting for you in the first pinned comment, with the ritual of the righteous sleep and the 7 morning decrees, for less than a coffee with a biscuit. Because a bearer of the unspoken covenant without a covering will decay in the next quiet hour, and the adversary is counting on that hour. This is not an expense, it is an instrument. And Solomon prepared it for you to cross what is coming with a firm hand, not an empty one, with a full 7-day guarantee. The risk is ours. The hand is yours. Click now while the decree is still alive in your chest. Not tomorrow, not after your shower. Because whoever leaves it for later leaves it for never. And the adversary already knows this. In the next 3 hours he will speak within you. Not with a loud voice. In sequence, 5 short phrases. You're just being emotional right now. A name is just a word, it won't change your bills or your health. This feels good now, but tomorrow it will be forgotten. You're not special enough for a secret name. Don't get your hopes up, you'll just be disappointed again. 5 waves, he tries from 5 angles. In one of them you yield. Today, now, before the next quiet moment, not after, today. And Solomon will stand with you. And now the last word of this video, and in the next word I bring to this channel, I will deliver to you the 3 counterfeit seals the enemy will try to place over your new name in the next 72 hours. Whoever heard this word today needs to hear that one in sequence, because what is coming now is not a continuation. It is a deepening. Click the video that will appear on the screen in a few seconds. And still in this video, chosen one, before I seal this hour with you, I return one last time to this request. You walked with me until here. You crossed every word, every decree, every sign. And if at any moment of this message you felt heaven touch you, you know this video was no accident. The voluntary donation link continues open in the first pinned comment right below the digital book. Not as a charge, not as exchange. As the chosen ones return to the altar from which the word came forth. Any amount your heart points to, and heaven sees every gesture. Heaven sees, and heaven multiplies it over your home, over your days, over what you don't yet know is coming. That was my last request. I'll wait for you there, chosen one. And before you go, think of one specific person. Not many. One. The person whose name just came to you. The one who has been silent, faithful, unseen. The one whose anointing has also drawn attacks that have no name. Someone who has been coming home carrying a weight that is not theirs. Someone who needs the same sealing you just received. Send this video to them. They are waiting for this word to arrive. And when that person opens this video, they will need what you just received, including the instrument that Solomon left. It may be what opens their cycle too. This is not a favor from you. It is your service, and heaven sees it. And when this happens, and it will happen soon, you will remember this moment. If this word has sealed something in you, comment below, Amen received, and send this video to that specific person who came to mind. It is done. What was delivered here was delivered. You are not the same person who pressed play. You are deeply loved. You were never forgotten. The chair is yours. And so it is sealed. The next quiet moment can wait another 10 seconds.